well, it's really going off now. All kind of tactics are being used in the proceedings, all in the cause of the nominee they selected, which I felt they didn't, and many other people have been backing this up in terms of them not going through the normal procedure like the right did not too long ago. There was talk about maybe they were going to just place Trump as their nominee, and fortunately, I think it's a healthy thing, seeing as we're always coming back to this um, definition and this word democracy. So we'd like to see this, most people would like to see this replicated. That's where each individual gets to flex their power with the vote. So to pick the nominee, the process, from what I understand, is the party will have a selection process, and the different candidates can come forward, and they'll be voted on. Somebody will come out ahead at the end of the process, and that will be the person who they adopt as their nominee to go forward as the candidate. They'll pick a second person, a VP, on their ticket, and job's done. They will be the selected individuals to go forward to compete for the presidency, the job of getting into the White House. Now, the thing that is a bit disappointing, just to dial it back a little bit, this is like the honeymoon period for Kamala Harris, and for the left, it's looking like they're crowning her the queen already. She's raised 100 the other day. What was it? 125 million, which is remarkable, and that was celebrated. And there's this theme of rewriting history, although you can only do that to a degree, because now the honeymoon period still in that exciting phase, but it's starting to die down a little bit, and you're getting a little bit of backlash. There's a lot of stories and information and history that Kamala, I feel, has to overcome, which they're trying to clean the slate, but I don't think that's going to be truly possible. And the thing that slightly disappoints me is the fact that it looks like already, even while they're celebrating the successes of Kamala being accepted by her party and chosen as the nominee, and they, did the coup, bypassed the traditional process of having the person chosen with some kind of mandate, because it's been voted on. They decided to bypass that and place her in the position of well, taking over, carrying the torch, taking over for Joe Biden. She is the VP. But I mean, I think it robs the electorate and even the people who work hard and campaign on behalf of, maybe some of them would have voted for her, of the people on the left, the Democrats. It takes away the process that they say they're striving to retain, and prevent us from moving into a period of, well, they say the alternative is totalitarianism, and we'll end up with a non-democratic system. So use the system, let people from zero to hero throughout the process, let people have their vote, let them get behind Kamala if that's truly who they want to represent them, and let some new blood, let some other contenders step forward, and at least see where they stand as far as the different factions of the same party, who they want to side with. Now, fortunately for Kamala, she's got the her name on the checkbook along with Biden, so that's one problem solved, because she's got all of that finance. And I believe that's one of the things that was used to, during the, want of a better description, the coup to remove Biden, to make that move more smooth, because Kamala was the only person who would be able to access those funding, and it was a fairly smooth transition. It would have threw the cat amongst the pigeons slightly if they ended up with somebody new and all kinds of wranglings. Although it doesn't excuse them from depriving the party members and the ordinary person from using their vote to choose their choice of nominee. That's spilt milk. Now, the thing that really bothers me, and I just think it's an unhealthy approach, and you could have seen this coming, and now it's really the complexion of the day, is the fact that they're turning it into they're making it about race in plain speaking. I mean, that's literally what's happening. It's okay, the acronym of the day, which we all must have been hearing since the attempted assassination, is the word DEI. And actually there was I watched a little bit of the hearing when they were grilling the head of the Secret Services, which at the time she was still in her position, and since then I believe she's stepped down. And there was a lot of questions that related to DEI. I mean, that's a whole nother story which we probably need to delve into at some point in time. But it's reared its head again in relation to Kamala, because it's been thrown out there multiple occasions that some people see her as a DEI hire, that she didn't earn the credentials to hold that seat. And even some people on the left who was, full on Biden supporters, they were happy to see her on the ticket, feel that within those 3 years, has she really done enough to prove herself to just slide automatically into the seat of being the nominee for the presidential race? It's Yeah, it's well, I suppose it's in parallel with that whole concept of DEI. You select somebody and put them in that position for statistical purposes, so that boxes can be ticked, and you pay less attention to whether they're the most qualified person or suitable person for that job, outside of the identity aspects of what makes them a good choice. So it's these things are very disappointing. The fact that I mean, you had stories, for example, I'll give you one little example. Kamala Harris was supposed to attend a presidential event, and it was reported, and this is actually turning into quite a big story. Kilmeade on Fox made a statement. They was having a discussion, and he just threw it out there about this event that she chose not to appear at. Some are saying that she's been avoiding being doing interviews and certain press situations, and she's just kept it to a more softer type environment. So she turned up at this college if event, and it was described as a how did he describe it now? I mean, the argument is to do with a one simple word, whether he used the word color or he said college. Now when you slow down the audio, at first it's an accent thing. Me being from over here in the UK, I mean, I have to listen to it at a slow speed to really be clear, but I don't think it would make that much difference. You describe groups, we use the English language, whether you say people of color or colored people. From what I understand, one or the other, I'm not even sure which one, is now out of bounds, because the language police on the predominantly left side have deemed that this is not an appropriate way in 2024 to describe people of a African American or a black or brown skin heritage. So I just think it's a distraction. This stuff is really a distraction from talking about policies, the person's credentials, their background, their skills, what they've achieved thus far in their political careers or working life, and who's behind them, what type of a mandate they feel they're bringing to the table, to justify them being there, as opposed to somebody else. So this thing about DEI, I mean, they're rewriting history right now, and I can understand why. It's a battlefield, so the weapons are drawn, tools are sharpened and polished, and history is being rewritten before you've even decided on who the victor is. So as far as Kamala Harris now, and her going back to when she got the VP's position, there is clips and footage of Biden. He's not hiding it. I give him credit for that. He was straight. Before he chose her, he said, I'm going to pick a black woman for that position. I'm not sure if he added any other kind of descriptions or terminology to that, but definitely stressed a female choice and a black female. So when it comes to some people suggesting that she was selected as part of the DEI process and basically picked because of her color and her, dual nationality, part Indian, part Jamaican. She's, claimed by various sides. Some times she's the first black woman, this, the first, black woman, that first. And then other times she's the first Indian woman who represents it's all, I just don't like to delve too far into it. I think, again, these are distractions. And right now it looks to me um, like that's really what's rising to the top of all of this her being picked as the nominee thing, or being positioned or chosen as the nominee thing, rather than the policies coming to the surface, the argument. And I think it's a poor kind of a lazy approach to, to go down this identity route and try and make it all about color. Because straight away the battle lines are drawn up on the basis of ethnicity and you know those type of things that can be discussed to the side. They shouldn't be the central to what this whole thing is about. Is somebody's qualifications, can they run the country, can they bring a different approach? She's a younger person to Biden, and that's another thing I noticed. I've seen a few clips of her doing things that look a little bit uncomfortable, but to get that younger demographic, it's like, yeah, they're really going full out for that. I don't know how successful they are. As far as polls, again, another rewriting the narrative. There you're hearing on one end she's ahead of Trump by some, small margin of error, and then they'll say she's 3 points ahead or 2 points behind, or it's very kind of suspect at the moment. I'm sure there's some very accurate polls, and that will become clearer as the time moves on. But within a few days, as we're, you know, dancing and grooving and everyone's cheerful and cracking the champagne in this honeymoon period, they're really painting her as, yeah, she's ahead of Trump, and she could pretty much have it in the bag. The thing is, though, this is early days. There's quite a long way to go, and the engine's just really getting warmed up. So I would offer a slight amount of caution. I would recommend that on to those on the left who think that she's the second coming, and there's going to be this landslide of young Gen Z millennial voters, and every black woman on the in the USA is going to be voting for her. And this is another thing that kind of rubs me out the wrong way as well, is when they kind of they put out this vibe that, I mean, Joy Reid pretty much said like what Biden said when he was campaigning for the presidential race. If you, on the Breakfast Club, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. I mean, why do they have to go to these kind of statements? Can people not decide based on their own experience, their own political leanings, and what they make of the candidate themselves, how they feel they are representing them, and what they're going to do to improve that particular individual's lot? So I think that's the basis of this so-called democratic system. It's a method we use to organize ourselves in modern society in large groups. It comes down to every individual and the people close to them. They would like to make a choice to make something better, or if things are going well, to at least sustain that experience. So when it comes to, if you're from a particular ethnic group, you have to vote with the mass as a monolith, and you have to vote them Democrats regardless of them demonstrating what they have to offer, and you being able to put the info on logical scales and weighing it up yourself. That really, yeah, that leaves a bad taste in the mouth. And I think, unfortunately, this DI thing, this making color and ethnicity the central arguing point, it's a kind of way of disguising what your will, what you've really got to discuss or talk about on your side. So, you know, what are your political arguments? What are the policies? What are the things that you think the community you're representing want you to discuss and improve? So yeah, it seems like it's coming back to the easy, destructive, and excessively polarizing points of you're from this group, you have to do this. And, you know, she's there to represent all of the electorate, as is Trump. So when you bring this, you have to vote for her because black women have to vote for her. You have to vote for her because black men have to vote. But the funny thing is, somebody said, one of the commentators on CNN, is that black men should protect her. I mean, this woman, okay, if she's qualified and has the credentials to potentially be the next president, I was about to say first black one. I don't really want to. It's almost like it's in your psyche, and this stuff just you find yourself repeating stuff if you don't stop and take stock. Yeah, if she's going to be somebody who's ready and prepared to jump into that seat and will such a powerful tool as the leader of the free world, you know, if she were to get that job, why does she need anybody to come and any regular person to come and protect her? So when they preach this thing of black men have to protect her because she's a black woman, remember, she's also a part Indian woman, and she's also, you know, a Western woman, and she's also, you know, a human being representing people of all ethnicities and demographic groups. So it's just a shame when it gets hung up and sort of shrunk to that one subject time and time again. It makes you kind of think that, well, is there no other stronger arguments that can be brought to the table? So that's slightly disappointing, but I don't want to, you know, spoil the excitement, the fun of the honeymoon period for anybody on the left who's been enjoying the results and things that have happened that can be celebrated. I mean, her being confirmed as the nominee, that's one big win for her. Raising all of this money, the big donors seem to be getting behind her. We don't know how long that's going to last, though, because, you know, the direction and the course of the current can change at any point in time, just as in the last 7 days. Within 2 weeks, everything's completely looking, you know, Biden was the guy. It was going to be Biden and Trump, and I suppose they feel like they've blindsided the people on the right as well. Because if the Trump team have been geared up to do a rerun of the Biden Trump battle, and all of a sudden now they have to slightly reconfigure for Kamala. It might have helped the left even more if they did go through the proper democratic process and let people vote and select the candidate they want. Because if they did end up choosing her as the nominee, then it would have given her, I think, a stronger position. She would have had some kind of a mandate, and it wouldn't be stuck on this. She was the VP, so she automatically is selected by the movers and shakers, the bigwigs of the party, without letting the smaller person utilize the vote with their name on it and be part of the process to feel involved. That's what democracy, I think, to a degree, is supposed to impart. Is there's a moment in time where the ordinary person can get involved in at least choosing who makes the big decisions if we don't get to make them ourselves. So yeah, that's a bit disappointing. And you know, don't want to harp on it too long. You got this Kilmeade thing where did he say college? Did he say colored people? Is it you supposed to say people of color? Then you got this DEI thing. Biden clearly said, I'm gonna choose for my ticket as to put on the ticket as my running mate a black woman. Okay, I don't. That doesn't really bother me too much either way. But when it's denied and when it's rewritten, oh no, he never said anything like that. She got there on her own merit and what's not. And I think she's played a smart move to a degree. I don't know how far it's going to get her, but the fact that she's kept cool, some people on the left are not happy about that because you've been inactive. What have you done for the last 3 years? She was the border czar, very, you know, chunky sounding title, sounds like somebody with a lot of responsibility would be holding down that seat. What did she do though? I don't even think she got to the border once. So I'm not knocking her, but when if people were gonna vote to choose a nominee and they were looking at what has she done in comparison to some of the other potential candidates, I understand why she would have kept it low key. And if this is correct, she played a smart game, because I believe she what probably predicted that Biden was not going to be able to sustain himself through to a second the second to complete the 8 years. So she, I think, kept it down, didn't want to be too noticeable, and she didn't want to be seen to be impeding him, but then I don't think she wanted to be seen to be helping him too much. So she just kept it, down in the background, everything low key. Although there's a flip side, because then it looks like, well, what were you doing? We haven't seen your skills. You haven't shown us what you're good at. What are your success stories during all of this time? But I get it. She probably just wanted to, keep things on the down low, and then when the time comes and things transpire as they have done, she's ready to come out without having too heavy an association with the Biden the whole Biden administration and story, in case things didn't go too great, which there's wins and losses. So I think she kind of wanted to probably start a clean slate. But again, there's a flip side, because her inactivity now is going to be scrutinized, looked at. And for those who feel like they want to support her because they'll rather her than Biden, they're going to want to hold on to something to say, well, this is why I'm behind her. This is what she's done. And this gives me the belief that, she can achieve some of these other goals. So that's one thing. Well, I would just say, see what tomorrow brings, because every 24 hours is like a whole week has passed with the amount of things that are shifting and moving. And we'll be in there with the movers and shakers, even if we're just the bystander observing in the background, and come back and see what the highlights are. But I don't think it's worth getting too hung up on getting too giddy with this honeymoon period, because there's a lot of time left. There's a distance still to go, and she'll have to keep this up and add to it and bring in a lot more of these voters that they say she's got on her side, or she'll need to be competitive and give Trump a run for his money. And there is still a lot of skeletons in her closet that I'm sure are going to be pulled out in the coming days and weeks. So yes, just fingers crossed and hope we'll start hearing some real discussions about political policies, what she's bringing to the table. If she wants, the people in the black community to support her and vote for her, yes, here's a few things about what she intends to do for those people that are going to so willingly give her their vote. So yes, she's younger than Biden. She's kind of fresh blood, but is she really talking a different talk? Anyway, for now, I'll let you go. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Myself, Corner Speak, be good, be safe, be creative. We out.